anyone can open a youth centre, but this isn't a normal youth centre.
Something to do, come down and chill. Something to do, come down and chill.
Came to the crew, made a track, sitting here with my mate Jack. Band is something I don't lack, and on my back is a sack full of raps. In a hurry, off we go, gotta write some bars, don't mess up my flow. Just before I've got to go home, I'll get in the zone when I'm on my own.
Something to do, come down and chill. Something to do, come down and chill.
Me and my friends get the bus from school. We're feeling happy, playing pool, playing Stadia, always win. Munch food, throw the packet in the bin. Mates sitting with mates.
In 1999, a young man got murdered on the estate, and he was with 6 of his friends, and one of his friends was my son. From that day on, they always wanted to be together. They were frightened of leaving each other. The group got bigger and bigger as the days went on, and we ended up with about 35 or 40 of them. So they used to come to my house with my son. We used to do trips from the house, paintballing, go-karting. They were mainly males, and barbecues in the garden and everything. And then there was an old disused porter cabin on the pitches just outside where the crew club is now. I approached the council with another couple of parents on the estate if we could use it just to keep the boys off the streets, give them somewhere to go so they could be together. The council finally gave us the keys in the September of 1999.
There were some cobwebs, there was one dartboard in the corner, and I'd met them about 3 months later. They were running some activities for young people once a week. It was really successful. They wanted to set up an organisation, so I was brought in to help them set up a charity.
Lots of things changed. We opened it 4 nights a week. There was lots of positive feedback from the police and different people. You know, there was no antisocial behaviour on the estate.
In the first 2 years, I think there was a statistic that crime had dropped by something like 30%. You know, so it just showed that by giving young people something positive to do, it just meant that they had less time to look at doing something less positive.
First it started like as a football like hut, and then because down there is the football hut, and then apparently Law's got £2 million, apparently, that's what I heard, and she built the crew club. That's what I heard.
The story is actually up on the wall.
When we first talked about it, we got the young people in with the architects, building models of what they wanted, what the young people wanted. It was really exciting. It only took 6 months to build. Moving into it was quite scary, because in the porter cabin we'd done loads. We had loads of young people. We'd done so much stuff. When we came in here, it was, wow, you know what? There's so much we can do, but it was such a huge space.
Well, now young people are coming, and they're coming in large numbers. Can we do something with them that's more positive? So give them a more of a positive outlook on their own lives.
The new deals for community money came into the area, and we had a good budget for trips and activities. Whatever the young people asked for, if we could, we'd do it.
We went on loads of trips. Fort Park, Autumn Towers was the best. Always stayed overnight over there. We had a sleepover in the crew club. It was for, I think it was for African children, and about starving ourselves or whatever for 24 hours. And we were only allowed to eat popcorn. You had somewhere where you could all just chat. And there was a room where kids, like the older boys compared to when I was little, they used to do drum and bass and stuff like that, MCing or whatever they used to do. Yeah, we used to sit and listen to that, us girls, because we fancied a couple of the older kids.
Not rare, orange takes 4 pills, then you won't be ill, so take the test, it's for the best.
Trousers cover our face, everyone does it all over the place.
I've always sort of done the trips and popped in from time to time with Loz. And she used to do like an aerobics class, keep fit. So I've done a few of those, and hopefully she's going to get the boxing back up starting. So I'll hopefully be involved in that as well, coming down and training.
When it's cold outside, I got the
Every year, the young people would do a celebration event at the Brighton Centre, so that, you know, we used to get people from all across the city come to that event. A way of showing people from within the community and from around the city that, you know, young people are doing a lot of good things inside and outside of community. A football tournament we used to take part in Sweden, so it's a Gothia World Cup. It's the biggest youth World Cup in the world, and under 12s and under 16s team to that, and that's a week-long tournament. So that was something that it will stay with the kids forever. We've done lots of community events, so like It's a Knockout, where we've got lots of adults from the community involved in that. We've had community barbecues.
We've done some joint work with ACE, which is the Alternative Centre for Education. So we've done some things with them, helping young people who'd been excluded from school, taking them there in Year 11 to do their exams, because they obviously wouldn't have done any. So that was really a positive piece of work.
The kids here are very good at drawing you in and getting you involved. And the story that I always tell is that I was sort of getting ready to finish for the day, and it was about 3 or 4 o'clock because I was very part-time at that point. So I went into the kitchen to put my cup in the dishwasher, and I was immediately jumped on by about 4 or 5 kids who wanted me to make them a glass of squash and come and look at their artwork and things like that. And I couldn't really drag myself away because it was so fun being involved with what they were doing. And I think there are a lot of skills and a lot of talent in the children and young people that come here, and I always find that very inspiring, seeing what they can create and what they bring to the centre, because without them, this centre wouldn't be as exciting and lively and interesting as it is, I don't think.
I think the best thing about it is the Crew Club members, what they do for us. They're inspiring us to do better things. Yeah.
As we know, the political climate changes and the funding changes and the focus changes. So funding has become much more difficult to source. And the club, it's recently gone through a tough time, like most charitable organisations, and it's had to downsize its staff team.
The funding situation here has changed dramatically over the last 15 years. Initially, when it was set up, a lot of it was contract based, and they had a lot of funding from EB4U, which was, I believe, a lot of core funding. So they didn't really have to worry about having to cover things like keeping the place warm and with the lights on and things like that. At the moment, that funding situation has changed quite a lot, and we've lost some of the contracts we used to have because there's been cutbacks in so many other organisations, and that has a knock-on effect for this organisation.
I do think that sometimes that's sort of like confusing for people in the community, because they think because you've got this wonderful building, you can do whatever you have to do, but you're restricted to a lot of what you can do. You take on people. And then when that funding runs out, unless you can find more funding, you lose those people.
One of the impacts on that was me moving on. I'm still involved on a much smaller scale as in a coordination role. But the club had to do that to survive, and it did survive that, and we're sort of now starting to come off the back of that and starting to pick up again, and hopefully the club will go forward and achieve a lot of good things that it's achieved in its past 15 years.
There will be a change in how we look for funding, especially because Brighton and Hove City Council are having to make a lot of cuts to what they're funding. So our youth contract may not continue in the next financial year, which is a bit of a shocking piece of news that we've discovered recently. So we will have to look more towards trusts and foundations and towards generating our own income to try and create a bit of unrestricted reserves so that we can run the building and so that we can keep the staff here, basically.
I really enjoy Crew Club. It's been like something that I do when I'm bored, and it's not just on Mondays and Thursdays, there's also different things happening during the week.
I like that Loz just lets anyone come here whenever they want, and she's just such a kind person.
There's always someone to play with, there's always one of your friends there, it's like a local and you always get to eat. It's free.
And when you come to Crew Club, you have the opportunity to start a football club with Sadie, or a boys football club with Mark. You get to learn how to rap and also make films like we are now.
Many of the young people that they work with here there wasn't much other provision really on this estate for them. They've really filled a gap. And she has seen children through from young age right through to teenagers. I mean, Mark himself was a child here at the Crew Club.
I've been in the same position where I've not been in work and I've been kicked out of school and college, and it makes you realise that you really have to do something, especially living in an estate where you don't get offered as much support as you probably would like. I'm looking to get my degree as a youth worker, and that'll take me roughly about 4 years from now. Youth work is a necessity. It's something that the country needs because it offers something different to a teacher, a social worker, and we're not strict with them. We're not saying do this, do that. We want them to enjoy themselves. They're young. That's the whole point. We want them to have a childhood, and that's what we're here for. This isn't my centre. This isn't Lorraine's centre. This is their centre, and that's the whole point of the Crew Club.
It's a nice big building. It's safe for the children. The parents know the kids are safe when they're here. The kids love it here. They've just got a chance to just run around and be wild, listen to music, dance, sing, whatever they want to do, they can do here.
This is a place where you can just hang out. We do computers like Xbox, we do arcade games, we do pool, and we can play music, we get free food, we do art in there, we could make stuff.
It's just a nice place for young people to come and bond, and
Young people need a safe place to come, somewhere where they feel that they're away from their parents, away from their family, away from anyone else, and they can just come and be themselves. They can talk to adults in a safe way, they can have fun with each other, they can find out about things, take part in new things. I'm seeing people now who were young people in the 15 years of the club, they've grown up, they're now having their own families, and they're bringing their children here, and they're also wanting to get involved and help.
Started off as administrator, did a little bit of finance as well, then I just progressed from there. I did some youth work training, so I wanted to get more involved with the kids. Then eventually my role changed over the years and I ended up doing the sports development. So I worked with extra time with the kids with disabilities as well.
I did my MVQ level 2 in youth work, that was about 7 years ago. And then I went on to being a volunteer for the Crew Club, then went on to being a paid worker. Then after that I then took on the role of working with teenagers with special needs, become the supervisor of that.
I'm a PA for twins, 17-year-olds with learning disabilities, and they come to this venue with a company called Extra Time. And because they know the environment and everything, we thought it'd be nice for them to do something outside of Extra Time, outside of school, just something social where they can socialise with other children. They thoroughly enjoy it because it just means that they're interacting with, kids from the school, kids from the community. They fit in just right. Kids here don't question them or anything at all.
Some of the kids, when they first attend the Crew Club, they don't speak, and then you kind of watch them all progress, and even with their drawings and things, you can just watch them and you know that how much they're learning from being at the Crew Club and how much confidence they actually gain from here.
I'm a parent, I've had 5 children, and I know what it's like, and there are times when you think, I didn't have chance to sit down and talk to one of them. And I think having this, and a lot of the parents appreciate the fact that they know their children can always come here, they can come here to do their homework, they can come here if they're doing their GCSEs, when they've got time out from school, study leave, they can come here if the house has got the other children in and it's too, manic to study. So I think they all appreciate the fact that this, because it is the community's building, it belongs to them. One
of the fantastic secondary school teachers comes in here and runs a homework club. It absolutely informally, nothing to do with her job. She just loves doing it. Since she's done that here, it's helped her to get used to and relate to the youngsters in a different way, in a more direct way.
The Crew Club had a presentation evening down at the Brighton Centre one night and asked if any of the Long Hill staff wanted to go along. So I went along with a couple of friends, and they were asking for volunteers to come and run a homework club. I came down just to have a look one night and just got hooked and have been here ever since, really. It wasn't just Long Hill, it was kids from lots of other schools, but now, because the Whitehall community are sending a lot more kids to Long Hill, I think most of the kids who come to Homework Club are from Long Hill. So for me it's been brilliant because my relationship with those kids at school is great now, and a lot of them will come to me if they've got a problem at school. Instead of going to their mentor, they'll come to me now because they know me and they see me coming into the community. So it's been fantastic.
I'm a volunteer at the Crew Club. My own children were grown and left home, and I thought I missed the company of children and doing kid type stuff. When I came, I realized they had a need for someone to do crafts with the kids, and so I just come on a Monday afternoon for a couple of hours and try to think up some craft each week that will keep a few of them occupied. We just do, I don't know, sticking and cards and all kinds of stuff. I love that. Is he listening to music as well?
Yeah.
That's great. I love it. A nice, warm, safe place where they get fed and they can have fun and choose their activities. Just try to be supportive and have, nice conversations with them. They're very interested in doing stuff, as most kids this age are. And I just think it needs, as much structure and money as people could throw at it, really.
We like what Loz does because, at Easter and Christmas and Halloween, she does little parties here.
We always had a Christmas disco and, just a bit of food and that at the party. And one year we'd had 2 or 3 discos, and then we were talking to the young people, and a couple of them said, well, the disco's boring, we don't really want a disco anymore. They said, well, can't we put on a party for the old people? So we looked into it, and we've been doing it now for 11 years. These are young people who other people think are a problem. They're not a problem if they're worked with and they're led in the right direction. There are some very, very hard-working families in this community, and, we totally get when, they're upset by things that are written about them or things that are said. And I think we've overcome a lot of that, and we've helped a lot of people overcome that.
I think there is still a historic reputation of Whitehall that people think it's that it's bad, that you can't walk through it, that you are in danger if you walk around here. And I walk around this estate by myself at night. Now I know I wear a uniform, but I've never felt unsafe on this estate ever. And no matter where you are in the city, you will have a small minority, a small group of people, whether it be adults, kids, that will cause trouble, which makes it look bad for everybody else. Yeah.
The police, they do, when they're training their police cadets, they do their community experience here with us, and that works really, really well. It gives the young people the opportunity to meet the police in a different light, because they're not in uniform. And when they hear they're going to be a police officer, they're really interested in, and they ask them why, and all the questions, and it builds a relationship. So if they have got to come into the estate for something, whether it's good or bad, a lot of the young people know them. So that's really good.
So for me, setting up a boxing club is much bigger than the word boxing. It's about giving young people self-respect, self-esteem, self-belief, and that's one of the things I think that over the years I've seen decline.
You have to be focused and concentrated to be able to do this sport. It challenges their behaviour as well, because to do the boxing, they have to behave. A lot of them have a lot of pent-up anger inside them because some home lives are quite difficult. So getting in that ring and just hitting a pad or, hitting a punch bag, or even just doing 20, 30 press-ups, or doing a boxercise session, it's giving them something it might be hard work, but it's something they look forward to doing. And it's only, in the long run, it's only going to benefit them anyway.
It's hard when you're a youngster to know what you want to do, but there's a different feel for it. And I just think, the boxing club will give them something they can burn off energy, and, hopefully they can, meet positive role models.
When you're working with so many young people in a disadvantaged area, and there's lots of facilities here, lots more we could do if we had money, I think people should be coming to us and saying, look, here's some money, we want this, this and this. We'd do it. We're surrounded in wealth. You know, you've got Rodin School, you've got Brighton College, the marina, and I think that it would be nice for some of them organisations that have got lots of money to give something to the community. You know, you've got Whitehall Football Club. It's a nice little football pitch with stands. It would be nice if they said, well, you know, let's bring the young ones down and, you know, have a little five-a-side football tournament or something. But nobody ever comes to us with anything. Part of their remit is to help their community. And that's not just going in to do a litter pick or paint a room. It's more to it than that.
We only have 3 people and we don't all work full time, so it's very difficult for us to lead a large range of activities. So we're really interested and really open to people coming in and running things for us. We're making sure that this building is open to as many people as possible. So it will be more and more important going forwards that we have people with lots of different skills coming and delivering activity here, because we're such a small team and we really could do with that.
One thing I think the club's been able to do well is engage with other partners and not, you know, and let them get the credit for that. You know, the club's a base for allowing others to do good things as well.
The Crew Club, in doing its work with young people, links in with so many other important organisations in the community, the primary schools, the secondary schools, youth clubs, the youth service, health services. Very, very important relationships there that help young people and families to engage with those services much, much more importantly.
The results of what they've done, they are unwritten, really. They're in the lives of lots of these children. I think the challenge at the moment is for it to be locally sustainable. That we don't just bring in people from outside and to carry it on. I think it needs to carry on, very much so. It would be a huge loss to this estate for it to go.
What about the next 15 years? What's that going to look like? And we're all really excited about that because it's always changing. And right now we're involved in planning that next period. And we're inviting anyone to get involved in that. Come and see the club. Come and tell us what you'd like to do. If you see opportunities, that's what this is all about.
Who's ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go. First number, 7 and 2, 72.
I like to fight for what I believe is right, especially when it comes to young people. Like I said, I've grown up here, I've gone through hard times, like a lot of these young people. There's plenty of young people around here who could go on to be, you know, do great for themselves because they've got so much to give.
Just play pool, Crew Club is more sick than school. Go into the computer room and chill. When I get ill I take an aspirin pill. Always spitting, buzz doing music. When I try hard my bars are too sick. Here spitting on the microphone, raise my voice and change my tone. Most of the kids roll around in Puma, acting hard and spreading rumours.
Something to do, come down and chill. Something to do, come down and chill.
At the Crew, hanging with my buds, not being naughty and taking drugs. I like playing games with Paul. We come down after school, and I think boxing is starting soon. I'm in the studio making a tune, walking home and see the moon. In McDonald's getting a balloon.
Something to do, come down and chill. Something to do, come down and chill.
At the Crew with my mates, got to come down to open the gates. Everyone runs in, goes to the games. When I rap I use my brains. Used to do front flips at the Crew. When I eat crisps and drink home brew. I'm gonna play this track to you, it's totally sick.